everybody, this is Playdates and Travels. So if you just stumbled upon my channel, welcome. Today I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm going to be filming this in parts because I know this is going to be a long video. So hopefully it's interesting enough and will help you guys all to get to know me better and why I have such a voracious love for Disney, because I have been a fan since I was a little girl. The next question I have here is, what is your favorite place to eat? I'll be right back, and when I come back I will look up what the name of that restaurant is so I can answer it on camera. So I'm back. I have a feeling that my son's going to end up falling asleep on me. He's a little tired, but we're going to try this. Alright, so the restaurant that was escaping my memory before was Columbia Harbor House. I love that place. At least I loved it from nostalgic values when I was little, because I used to think that there wasn't any good food in Magic Kingdom, but that was the one good stop that you could always get. Again, it's not too far from the Liberty Square area over in Magic Kingdom. Not too far from Haunted Mansion. They have the best clam chowder. I haven't been there in years, but I remember loving Columbia Harbor House. That was always a must-do forever. And then other places that I like in Disney World in general. 50s Primetime Cafe. I love that they have waiters come around, and if you put your elbows on the table, they tell you, get your elbows off the table. It's kind of like Grandma. I actually have a card signed from Grandma on my birthday there once. They have the best milkshake, so love that place. It's a fun experience. They have really good pot pie too. I also like the afternoon tea at the Grand Floridian. Great experience. I love the tea and the scones there. Just a nice little afternoon outing with your kids or with your girlfriends to just have some tea. I also like Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies. Oh my god, in Tomorrowland. That's just a great soft serve ice cream. It was my go-to in Magic Kingdom during grad night and other nights that I could remember, so love that place. The shaved ice place outside of Katsura Grill in Japan. Love that. Le Cellier has now become a favorite of ours. My husband remarked that every time we go to Disney World now, we cannot not go to Le Cellier because he loves steak and he just loved it there. They have a great filet mignon that you can also get a sample of during the Food and Wine Festival that kind of turned us on to that place. My family used to love going to Le Cellier when we were younger. It used to be a different restaurant altogether. They used to have more of a quick service theming. So my parents don't actually go there anymore. They remark that it's too expensive now because they recall how it used to be in the good old days when I was growing up, back when my ticket cost like $50 or $60, whatever it was. But yeah, the experience has changed completely. Plus there was something on the menu before. It was a pork pie that my parents were really into that they no longer have on the menu. Now it's more of a steak theme, and my mom can't eat steak because she can't eat beef. And I also want to say one thing I forgot in my question before about things that you miss from your childhood to now. I miss the sherry trifle. I remember the sherry trifle. It used to be outside of Canada. They used to have another one outside of the UK pavilion. So it was in two different places. It was a cart, a kiosk. They also used to sell it in the restaurant itself of Le Cellier. It was a sherry trifle, which was strawberries, this cream, together with a little bit of sherry in there, and you know, as a kid I remember being like, there's alcohol in this, I can have this, and my mom was like, sure. I don't think my dad realized that there was actual alcohol in that dessert, but for whatever reason they gave it to little kids and I could have it, and it cost like $6, and it was the best treat ever. So to that question, to your number one snack, that it used to be the sherry trifle, I had to get that. And I remember being in high school in, I don't want to say the year, but it was over 10 years ago that I was in high school. It was definitely around that time when they got rid of the sherry trifle, and I remember the first time I went in high school, I was devastated. I went to two different places looking for it, and I think my mouth was like, what? What do you mean no sherry trifle? And then the people were like, yeah, sorry, we no longer have it. Now if you ask about it, that no one even knows what you're talking about because it's been so long, but that was hard. That hit me to the core, Disney. If any of you Disney people are watching, that hit me to the core. Bring it back. Bring it back. And then the last place, just a couple more places in Disneyland I also want to mention. Carnation Cafe. If you ever get a chance to go to Carnation Cafe, it is a sit-down restaurant toward the front of the park in Main Street area, and it is a restaurant that Walt himself used to love. I love the food there. It's so great, and I never even knew that it was there until I saw a post on the Disney Food blog. If you don't read that blog, go ahead and look at it. It is so amazing. They often cover the food in not only Disney World, but Disneyland, sometimes even Tokyo. But it is so much fun, and they have a whole great review on the Carnation Cafe if you haven't been there before. I also like Flo's V8 Cafe in California Adventure, which is a great stop if you're over there in Cars Land. French Market I mentioned already. Ghirardelli ice cream, because I love ice cream. It reminds me of San Francisco. Jolly Holiday, I love to go to check out the desserts and whatnot when the lines aren't that bad. Sometimes that place can get really crowded and it's not worth it to me. I also like Maurice's Treats, which is over by the castle in Fantasyland. It is the entrance of Fantasyland a little bit, where they have the show in the round. Sometimes they have Beauty and the Beast, sometimes they do a show of Rapunzel and whatnot. It's just like a retelling, storytelling atmosphere. It's the Storytellers Theater, I believe is what they call it. That is a great little kiosk stand that's right outside that tented area. It's also where the meet and greets are. They have cheap snacks, around $6, $8 or something like that. And my favorite is a chocolate twist. And I love the dipping sauces that comes with. And I also found out about that from the Disney Food blog. And then, of course, Red Rose Tavern, which is the new, almost permanent fixture, I want to say at this point. The new restaurant that took over the old Pinocchio house area there. They transformed it into a Red Rose Tavern, which is a Beauty and the Beast themed area. And the food is kind of like flatbreads, and they have poutine and steak and whatnot. And they also have the gray stuff there. So that is our version of Be Our Guest in Florida. So if you want to try out some Beauty and the Beast theming, go to that place. It's great. And that covers my favorite places to eat in Disneyland and Disney World. The next question that I'm seeing is, what is your favorite Mickey-shaped food from the parks? That is a hard question. When I was a kid, I used to be a huge fan of the Mickey-shaped ice cream bars. I'm not really into the pre-made ice cream though. As an adult, I just like soft serve better. I always have, kind of. It's just a personal preference of mine, but I do miss the Mickey-shaped ice cream, and every now and then I will buy one just for the nostalgic value of remembering my childhood. This says Mickey-shaped food, but I'll say my favorite Mickey-shaped thing in the park in general is a Mickey-shaped balloon. I love those things, and I will get that on my stroller all the time now if I can. It's a great way to just mark where your stroller is too. But going back to the food question, because that was the question, I like Mickey-shaped pretzels, but sometimes the quality of them is not as good as what you would expect. So I personally prefer Auntie Anne's pretzel to the Mickey pretzels in Disney parks. I tried it recently to see what was missing, and I was like, it's cute to look at, but I just wasn't a big fan of the taste. I'm particular about my pretzels. I prefer the Bavarian ones from the German quick service place outside the Beer Garden restaurant over in Germany in Epcot. I'm trying to think. Oh, a Mickey waffle. Duh. Okay, Mickey waffle all the way. I love myself a Mickey waffle. Those are so cute to eat and to look at, so for sure. That is my answer. There we go. Okay, phew. I almost forgot my Mickey-shaped foods. What is up next on your travel plans? So I just got back from a trip from Hawaii, and one of the questions that's on this list, I think that's coming up soon, is to talk about my Hawaii trip. Just for the sake of not making it part of this video, I will do a different video on Hawaii altogether. If anyone is interested in hearing about that trip and looking at pictures and whatnot, I will have that in a separate post. But because we just had a big trip, we don't have any big trips planned ahead. But we do have Chicago on our horizon. We've always wanted to go. We've been saying for a couple years now, let's go to Chicago, and we still haven't done it. So my husband's starting to look at flights and trying to make that a reality. We want to do like a long weekend there. So that might be coming up as a smaller trip that we'll have planned for this year. And then our big trip that we have planned is in October. I will be going to Disney World, and I'm so excited about that. I have not booked my flight just yet, but we have booked the hotel portion because that was booking up. If you're planning to go to Disney World in October, get on it because those hotel rooms are flying off the shelves. My goodness, it was so hard finding dates that worked for our trip. So we're now going end of August, or middle of August, not August. We're now going in middle to end of October, and once I have that finalized, I can announce that officially on my channel. But Disney World is happening for Food and Wine Festival. Oh yeah, so excited about that. And the other major trip that we have planned is we want to potentially go on a Disney cruise when my daughter is young enough to appreciate it, but not too young. Since she will be turning 4 soon, we will either go for her 4th or 5th year of life. So that is on the horizon to eventually go on a Disney cruise. And that's also on my bucket list, is to go on a Disney cruise. So I forgot that question before to include that. But for sure, I would love to go on a Disney cruise. The next question is, what is your earliest Disney memory? So my earliest Disney memory, I have pictures so I can look at those, and that kind of like it's skewing my memory a little bit. One of my favorite things to do in Disney World is go see the Voices of Liberty show. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is amazing. Please go check that out. It is fantastic. So in the American Pavilion, before you go on the ride, you can also skip the ride completely, which is what we do because it's a long ride. It's more just like the animatronics where you see the presidents of the United States throughout the years talking. You can skip that, but the pre-show to that ride, sorry, for anyone that's a big fan of that ride, it's just not one of my favorites. It's fun to do at least once in your life. I will put that out there. But anyway, so before you go on that ride, there is a pre-show that takes place in the lobby of the American Pavilion building. And on certain times of the day, to look at the Times Guide, they have an a cappella show called Voices of Liberty. And these people are amazing. Their voices are beautiful, so angelic. And it is one of my favorite things to do because it was one of my family's favorite things to do. I remember vividly sitting around the room. So what you do is you sit around the room in a U, and there are benches around the outer perimeter. My parents would sit on the benches because they didn't want to be in the center, but if you wanted to be part of the show, you sit on the floor right around the U, and they tell you to come move forward before the show starts. So I remember one year I was sitting there, and I was sitting in the front row, and now I always sit in the front row because I know this is what to expect, but this was one of my first times. I think I was 5 or 6 years old, and we sat in the front, my sister and I were sitting there, and they were singing one of their staple songs. So now when you go to see Voices of Liberty, they change the songs every time. It's not always the same repertoire. But back then, they used to sing Oh Susanna every single show. And during the song, they'd be like, oh Susanna, why don't you cry for me? Well, I come from Alabama with my banjo on my knee. So if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about because that's part of the show. Sometimes they have different songs they sing. But it was during the song where they used to be like, I lost my partner, what do I do? But skip to my Lou, my darling. Oh, Lou, skip to my Lou, my darling. During that song, they used to have a guy that would come over and he would be like, I lost my partner, I need a new partner. And they would pick out one kid from the audience as well as one adult, female. And as a child, this is one of my first times ever doing this show. I was picked. I was sitting in the front row, and I remember the guy came over to me and he said, hey, I need a partner. Will you be my partner? And I was like, mm-mm. You know, I was like, of course not. You're an old man. Forget that. I'm like 6 years old. What's wrong with you? And it's just a cute little like thing they do during the show. So he asked me, you don't want to be my partner? He's like, do you have a boyfriend? And I said, no. So that used to be the question, and it's just such a fun moment to be picked out and singled out of the audience like that. I remember the Indiana Jones show in Hollywood Studios used to have, or I think they still do this, they pick people out of the audience to be part of it, and as a kid I used to always dream to do that one day. I still have not done that. That is also my Disney bucket list. I should be part of that show. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so it was one of those experiences just like that you looked forward to, and I just remember from Voices of Liberty they always picked out a kid, and I was that kid. It was the best experience ever, one of the greatest feelings. I had that same feeling again when I was picked out of the audience to be the chosen wand holder for the Harry Potter experience in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter over in Universal. I remember one time I went and there weren't any kids in the room, so it was a bunch of older people, and I was toward the front again. Didn't know what to expect. It was my first time ever doing that experience with my husband and my sister, and they picked me to be the person to do the wands for like Harry Potter, and I was just like, this is great! And I was an adult at the time, so imagine that feeling when you're a kid. It was just the best thing ever. I had so much fun, and so that is my earliest Disney memory, one of my favorite Disney memories. And I will always cherish that experience. And I will insert a photo so you can see me being picked, basically. I loved it. I'm going to put him down because he just fell asleep in my arm. So 1 second. I have a little baby Jewel on my shirt. Whoopsie. That is for my son. He was drooling on me as he slept. Now he's laying down. Okay, so let's just continue the questions because we're almost at the end at this point, which is fantastic. Thank you to everyone who is still watching and has stuck by all this time, by the way, to see all my questions being answered. Get to know me a little bit better. The next question on this list is, what is your most memorable Disney moment from your childhood? Pre-kids, with your hubby, and since you had kids. So I just answered that question with my favorite earliest Disney memory. My most memorable Disney moment from my childhood was definitely being picked for the Voices of Liberty show, to be part of that show. I loved it, and ever since that experience, I always sat in the front row after that, hoping to be picked. I got picked a couple of times, not too many. I want to say I was picked maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, if that, and that was all as a child. And then as an adult, I was picked once. I was picked once. They've now changed the format of the show, so when I go, I don't think the last 2 times they even picked anyone from the audience to do anything, but it's still a fun show to see. So I definitely recommend it. It's so much fun to hear their voices singing a cappella, and they have gorgeous, gorgeous voices. And they're really sweet to talk to afterwards as well. So that's definitely for my child my favorite Disney moment. Pre-kids, my favorite Disney moment was receiving the free treat on my birthday when I was in a wheelchair. That meant so much to me that they reached out and gave me a little birthday love. I also got free shot my 21st birthday there as well, so thank you to House of Blues for that. That was a great way to get a free birthday cake shot on my birthday. Holla! I was 21 and it was a fantastic moment to celebrate my birthday in Disney and pre-kids with your hubby. Okay, so I haven't really told my people about this, but they used to have the American Idol experience in Hollywood Studios, and I remember I went there once with my husband and my best friend, Justine, who is also coincidentally the friend that we are going on a trip with for this upcoming Food and Wine Festival with her and her husband. But Justine's a huge fan of the Muppets show in Hollywood Studios, and I love that show too. It's so much fun to watch, but I've seen it 1,000 times, and there was that trip, and I kind of wanted to audition for the American Idol experience, and I didn't want to tell my friends and my family, just in case I wasn't picked. So I told my husband I was going to just sit out and just walk around, do my own thing. And so he went with Justine to go see that Muppet show. I knew that I had at least a half an hour because that's how long that show is. And I walked over to the American Idol audition experience, and I decided to audition. So they make you pick a song. Oh, I'm skipping ahead. So they used to have it so that you would just pick any song, and you would sing a couple of bars from a song a cappella. I think I sang Zombie from the Cranberries, and I sang that song, and they have a casting director that kind of sits and watches you perform, and the person then asks you a bunch of questions about your background and your singing background, and either get to the next step or not at that stage. So they would say, thanks for auditioning, come back again, give you a button that said I auditioned, or you make it on to the next round. I made it on to the next round, so that is one of my favorite memories, is the fact that I actually got to the next round, and the casting director then told me to sing a song from a list. She had a preordained list of songs that a preset list of songs that they would potentially have you sing on stage during the show aspect, where it's kind of like American Idol the show now, where they have the whole audition experience, and then they have you sing a song and the audience votes for who they thought was the best singer, and then they would go on to the next round during the day. I sang the next song. I think it was a Kelly Clarkson song, and then I ended up singing a different song as well. They had me sing 2 more songs, and I think because another person was planning to sing one of the songs that I could sing, and they told me to choose the Kelly Clarkson song, because I also picked Pocahontas, Colors of the Wind, and somebody else was already singing that, and they said, you know what, don't do that. They told me not to do the Little Mermaid song, because I was going to sing Part of Your World, which is also one of my favorite songs ever. And they're just like, that song is so iconic, and everyone who sings that sounds like Ariel, so don't do that one. The casting director told me this. So they had me pick a Kelly Clarkson song, and I forget which one. I think it was Breakaway or Since You've Been Gone, or one of those songs, because I have a high belt. And they were like, all right, sing that on the stage during the show. And they had me scheduled for the 9 a.m. show that day, but then as I was auditioning, they announced that they were having technical difficulties with the light, and they had to push me from the 10 a.m. show to, I think, the noon show. And I had a flight that same day, so we had to leave the parks around 1:30 or so. It was going to be cutting it close. We knew that we probably couldn't make that, so even though I went through the whole audition experience and I got through, I could not perform on stage because we had to go catch a flight. But the cool part about auditioning for that show that I did not know is that for your time, because it's an intensive process, that whole thing took about an hour to get to the audition, and then preparing my song for the next casting director set, and then getting past that step. They did give us 3 fast passes. 3 fast passes for auditioning. I guess because when you do the show, you just get 3 fast passes since you're going to be waiting around to do that show anyway, when you're doing another hour performing in front of everyone. So it was kind of like I was technically a cast member for the moment. My friends and I got 3 fast passes. We went straight over to Toy Story Mania and did that ride, because that line is always a really long wait without a fast pass, and that was like a newer ride at the time. So we loved it, and we also went to another couple rides. I think we went to Tower of Terror again, just because we had the fast pass, and so that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that experience. It's one of the best memories I have from Disney, is just successfully auditioning for the show and knowing I made it, even though I wasn't able to do the actual performance. It's something that is close to my heart. So I like that, and my most memorable Disney moment since my kids, it's a toss-up between my daughter meeting Anna and Elsa and being really shy with the characters, and just going on Dumbo for the first time and seeing her face, or seeing her face during Casey Jr.'s train ride. I have so many. Just basically watching my daughter's face as she watches these things for the first time.
Fist bump. Yeah. High five. Yeah.
Oh, I have a better one. So in California Adventure, they have a Frozen show, kind of like a Broadway-esque theme show where they put on the full movie in 1 hour, and it's a whole big stage production. My daughter was about 1.5 years old the first time we ever went on that show, and we waited. We didn't have a fast pass, but we waited with the regular line queue, and we got to go in, and she sat on my lap, and I remember her face. Oh my goodness. She watched the show. She hadn't seen Frozen ever, the movie, at the time. This was her first experience with Frozen, but she saw that show, was so riveted like this, stood still. I've never seen a girl sit so still during the entire time, and there are other kids crying around because it's a really long show for kids to sit through. But my daughter, 1.5, did not move. She watched the whole show, and she was like, the whole time, just like really reacting to it and enjoying herself. And when we were leaving, I kid you not, we're going down the stairs, coming back. So we were in the top floor. We were heading down the stairs from that show, and the whole time she was singing "Let It Go." She's like, "Let go, let go," and that's all she kept on saying over and over again because she remembered the song from the show. And then of course after that we had to go get the movie, and she's watched it 1,000 times since. She watched it every day for probably a month. Same thing that she's done with Dumbo now. She just gets really obsessed about a Disney movie, doesn't want to stop watching it. But she was really a Frozen fan, and it was the song "Let It Go" that hooked her, and seeing it at Disneyland. So that is my favorite moment, just remembering how quickly she just snapped to it and was just like, I like this song, I like this show, I like this movie, it is my thing. And ever since, Elsa and Anna have been her heroes, or her heroines. Okay, so that answers that question. The next question on this list is, if you could only visit one of the U.S. parks, California or Florida, which would you choose and why? So I think I hinted at that question before, but I think my answer definitely is Florida. I am a big Walt Disney World fan, so I mean, maybe it's partly I also had Disneyland not too far from me, so I can get there more easily. But if I had the opportunity to go to the Florida parks, I would take it. In fact, I've flown across the country just for that fact in the past. So if I can only visit one, Florida all the way. It's my home park. It's where I grew up with. I love all 4 of those parks. They're just in my heart forever. There's no changing that. Never. Ever, ever, ever. Where is the other outlet that you went to besides Citadel? So this was asked me by 2 different people. So if you watch my Shop With Me series, I've shown outlet stuff that I've gotten from both the Citadel location and also a location called the Camarillo outlets. There's a third one in the local area called the Ontario outlets, and I do not recommend the Ontario Mills outlet because I've been there only once, and the one time I went there, they had nothing. It was kind of like a mall setting, and they had a very small park selection, and I remember being upset because I had called before I made that trip. It's not a close trip for me. That's close to an hour and 40-minute drive. Same as Camarillo, but in the completely opposite direction, so it's a much longer feeling drive. And I did it because I wanted to see what kind of merchandise they had there, and I called before I went there, and I said, "Do you have Disney Parks merchandise?" And they said yes. And I said, "More than just clothes?" And they said yes, we have blah, 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 blah. I get there, they had nothing since I had just called them. And I was like, I just called you less than an hour ago, and I was told that you had plenty of merchandise, and you don't, from the Disney parks. And the person I had talked to on the phone was like, "Oh yeah, we generally do. I should have checked before I answered you, but yeah, I guess we just sold out this morning." So I've never been to that location since. But the 2 that I've shown on my channel are the Camarillo location, which is in the mountains. It's about an hour and 40 minutes from Disneyland, and it is on the way to Ventura, California. So I showed that in my most recent video. They are a great location to visit if you just happen to be a Disney fan or are looking for, you know, a lot of merchandise, because the Citadel location, which I've shown more frequently on my channel, that is the one that everyone goes to. That is the one that is close to Disneyland, and because of that, they get picked clean a lot faster. The Camarillo location, not picked so fast. So I would recommend it for that reason. Also, it's a nice calming drive through the mountains, so if you're into that, then do it. What is your daughter's favorite ride? My daughter's favorite ride, thanks for asking that question, by the way, her favorite ride is Dumbo. She loves going on that ride every time that we go to Disney. If you ask her, she'll probably say that Little Mermaid is her favorite ride, because that is more recently the ride that she's been going on, but I think Dumbo is definitely her favorite. She always wants to go on that no matter what. She will stare at it from across the park. If she sees that ride, she's like, I want to go over there on the elephant. So Dumbo for sure. So the next question is, tell us more about Hawaii in the Q&A. So as I mentioned, I am going to put that in a different video. I will say I had a great time. I loved it. We had some great photos. It was a blast. We had lots of shaved ice. We saw the mountains. We went hiking. Kauai is really known for their hiking and their hikes, so we did that with the whole family. My husband ended up carrying, he had the baby carrier all the time, so he ended up carrying both my son and my daughter at the exact same time because my daughter got tired on the way down. Yeah, we had beautiful beaches. We had a great stay. We stayed at the Grand Hyatt. It was fun. So that is my summary of my Hawaii talk, and again, I will do a whole video about that in the future, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. What age did you start to love Disney? I answered that question around 2 or 3. Hooked. Since the moment I was introduced to it. Done. I was done so. For sure. What is your favorite thing to do in the Disney parks in terms of rides, meaning characters, entertainment, parades, Disney snacks? My favorite thing to do is go on the rides for sure. I'm a ride person, so I love the thrill rides the most, but I also like sitting in the dark rides as well, a little like the calmer rides. I'm also a really big foodie, so I love to eat in the parks. As I've gotten to be a little bit older, food and walking around and taking in the atmosphere are among my favorite things to do in the parks. I even went to Disneyland a couple times by myself without any kids. This is before I had my second child, but when my daughter was in preschool or whatnot, I used to take trips just for myself, just to walk around Disneyland, and I love that. I love the feeling of just being around that atmosphere and taking in the sights. So walking around and eating and buying the merchandise is some of my favorite things to do besides going on the rides. And I will say I'm not a big parade person, so I often skip the parades when I'm there, but I have seen them here and there. I more so when I'm around people that really want to go to the parades. Otherwise, I just feel like there's more that I could do with my time in those windows, because you have to wait like usually like an hour at least before the parade to get a good spot, and then the actual parade's like a half an hour, then the crowds are just really big afterwards. So that is an ordeal that I don't think is worth it for me personally, because I'm not a big parade person. I love this question. So this is a question that's asked by one of my subscribers who is from the South. And so she asked, how often are y'all able to travel? I love that. I love it. Not just to Disney. So we are able to travel at least once a year, I want to say, to something domestic. We try to at least go out once a year to something, because otherwise I just get cabin fever. I'm one of those people that loves to travel and go out. I can't just be at home all the time. I do have cousins that are like that, and they never leave their neighborhood, and good for them. But I'm not that person. I go months and then I'm like, I need to go someplace. I need to see something different outside of my little bubble, because that's how I experience the world, and it makes me feel just connected to everything around me. And my husband kind of feels the same way, so I'm so thankful for that. So we do try to go at least once a year. If we can go more than that, then great. Sometimes we can't afford to. But that's kind of what we plan to do. Like I said, Chicago is up on our list right now. We also would love to go to New Orleans, never been there. So those are some of the domestic trips that we have on the horizon. Coming up soon. What is your favorite pair of ears you own? This is up there now. Oh my god, these are so gorgeous. I got this from a Gifts from Mickey subscription box that I just got a week ago. Loving this. And this is also from Gifts from Mickey. These Food and Wine Festival ears. And these are also among my favorites. And then these Hollywood Tower Terror ears are up there, as well as the purple ones, because this is my favorite color. So there you go, those are all my favorite ears. 2 Etsy ones and 2 official Disney World ones. The next question is, have you ever been on a Disney cruise? And the answer to that is no, not yet, but hopefully very, very soon, because that is definitely on my bucket list. Like I mentioned, I'm hoping to make that a reality. And I believe that question was asked me by Ghost Host Heather, which is the winner of my recent giveaway, so thanks for your question. The next question is, I'm going to Disneyland Paris in October. I'm really looking forward to all the Halloween decorations. Have you ever been to a Disney park in the Halloween season? Yes. So, not sure if you have all seen my channel from when I first started this, and that was around last October. I started doing Disney videos, but my first couple of videos were about Disney were taken during the Halloween season. And I just got a notification there's a new pin release at the Hollywood store. So I'm looking at my phone as I film this, and I know where I'm going next. Oh my god. Thank you for that update, Bianca, who is my friend in the UK, who is a big pin person and keeps me informed. But anyway, sorry. And if you're watching this video, Bianca, hi, how you doing? Miss you. I found out recently that she watches my videos sometimes, so I don't know which one she watches or not. But anyway, so, yes, so I have been to the parks in Halloween. I feel like that's the most frequent time that I do go to the parks is in the October, September season, because I just happen to go there a lot. My first trip to Disneyland was around Halloween too, here in California, so I love the parks during that time. It's one of my favorite times to go. I like that the rides here in Disneyland are themed to Halloween specifically. You have the Haunted Mansion ride that they have the Halloween overlay, and then you also have, is that for Christmas and Halloween? Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. They bring around Halloween, they keep that through the Christmas season. I'm like blanking right now. So I like that they have that, and I like that they also have the Halloween themed Space Mountain ride, Ghost Galaxy. That's pretty cool too. And yeah, so I just like that there's Halloween theming that goes on here in California, and I like the decor and the autumn leaves and whatnot. In fact, when I went to Tokyo Disney, that was also in the month of October, so we saw the Tokyo Disney Halloween decor as well, and that was amazing. So it's one of my favorite times to go. I feel like we go there a lot during the month of October, and it is beautiful. So to Lynn Lydia, who asked that question, I hope you have an amazing trip in Disneyland Paris, because that is a fantastic park and a fantastic time of year to go. So the next question I have on my list is, what's your favorite treat to buy at Disney? I answered. So as you can see, that was a really popular question. Everyone wanted to know what my favorite treat was. What is a favorite Disney sidekick for you, and why? Somebody asked this in one of their giveaway videos recently, and I'm trying to remember what I said. I think I said LeFou, because he is just very dynamic, but I also really like Mushu, the dragon from Mulan. I mean, Eddie Murphy's character is so funny, and he's integral to that movie. Like, without him, it wouldn't have been such a great dynamic, so I love him as a sidekick. He has a lot of screen time. He's up there on my favorite Disney sidekick list. LeFou is as well from Beauty and the Beast, and let's see if I can name another one. Flounder from The Little Mermaid. I mean, Flounder is a must, right? You can't go anywhere without seeing that fish and Ariel together, so. Okay, so what are your top 5 Disney characters of all time? Sorry, I have a scratch. Ariel, Ursula, my favorite villain. Cinderella. She's iconic. I had Cinderella theming, very subtle, in my wedding. I love her. Mulan and Rapunzel? I don't know if she's my favorite character. Let me think. Number 5 is Simba, for sure. I love Simba. I love The Lion King. He's amazing. And I'm looking at his stuffed animal right now. Also from Gifts from Mickey. Okay. I love how 3 things I mentioned that I love are from Gifts from Mickey. Okay, so moving on. What was your favorite Disney movie as a kid? Little Mermaid. I mentioned that already. Which Disney hotel is your favorite to stay at? So my favorite Disney hotel, I want to say, is the most frequent hotel that we have stayed at, I should say, is All-Star Movies. I don't like sports and music as much because I just like the movie theme. I'm a movie buff type of person, so that is my place. And it's the cheapest Disney hotel that is available, so we stayed there many times to save money. However, I would say that my favorite to stay at more recently was Port Orleans French Quarter. Again, that New Orleans theming, we are loving it, but it was such a fun hotel to stay at. I like that you had all the benefits of a smaller boutique hotel in a moderate setting, and when we stayed there, it actually was only about $20 or $25 more a night to stay there than All-Star Movies, so we did it, and we loved it. I have had the opportunity to stay at the Grand Floridian before, and that was really cool, but I didn't feel like I didn't get to see it in its fullness because I stayed there last July, and they're doing a lot of construction on a lot of the a lot of maintenance, I should say, on a lot of the restaurants, so we didn't get to fully experience the dining aspect there, and we didn't spend that much time in the hotel in general, so I missed out on some of what that hotel has to offer. But that was a great time to stay there. We had a beautiful room, beautiful view. My friend actually, her dad hooked us up with that trip and took care of that hotel. So thank you again to that friend. I don't know if she's watching this video either. I know that she watches some of my videos, but hi, you know who you are. And we loved that trip. It was great. But my favorite hotel that we had the whole experience was the French Quarter. So I will say that as the answer. We are staying at the Beach Club soon though, so hopefully that will be on this list. Alright, where do you shop for Disney items besides at the parks? Shop Disney, I'm there every week, all the time, at the Disney store or online, so yes, for sure. Shop Disney, the Shop Disney Parks app. Box Lunch now, I am loving that store and I've been there a lot more recently. Uniqlo, I've gotten a couple things from, really cute. They have a location in Disney Springs and that's how I knew about them. And Disney boxes. I guess that's the place to put Disney merch on there because I'm such a frequent subscriber to Disney boxes in general. Those are my top 5, for sure. That is all the questions that I had in my giveaway video. So thank you guys for wanting to get to know me a little bit more. Thanks for your support for this channel, and I hope that you got to know me a little bit better and that you got to connect with these ideas as well. Let me know in the comments below what comment I made today resonated with you the most. Like, how could you identify with what I said in the Q&A to your personal experiences? I'm just interested what your favorite stuff is as well. Whatever I said that resonated with you, let me know because that will help me know what to gear this channel to in the future. So yeah, thanks so much for your support and hope you all take care. Bye!